Weapons every Knights Templar knight carried. By the time kings trusted the Knights Templar with their treasure, their enemies feared them for something else entirely on the battlefield. Templar knights were known for one thing above all: they did not retreat. And that reputation began with the weapons they carried. The most powerful weapon a Templar knight used was not his sword. It was his horse. Templar cavalry were trained to charge in disciplined formation, not as individuals, but as a single moving wall of armored force when that formation struck enemy lines. It often ended battles in minutes. So what made their cavalry different from every other army in Europe? Their war horses were not ordinary animals. They were trained from an early age to remain calm in chaos. They charged toward noise instead of away from it. They moved through arrows, through shouting soldiers, through collapsing formations. Because a knight without a trained war horse was no longer a knight at all. He was just a man in heavy armor surrounded by enemies. And the Templars understood that better than anyone. Then there was the lance, long, heavy, and designed for a single devastating purpose. When used in formation, a line of charging Templar lances created a moving barrier no infantry force could easily stop. The first impact often decided the outcome of the fight, but the lance had one weakness after the first strike. It was usually gone, which meant something else had to finish the battle. That weapon was the sword. Unlike ceremonial blades carried by nobles, Templar swords were built for endurance. They were straight, balanced, and designed for repeated strikes in close combat. A knight who lost his lance still remained dangerous, and a Templar knight almost never fought alone, because their greatest strength was discipline. Templars did not charge without orders. They did not break formation to chase enemies, and they did not retreat unless commanded. This rule came directly from the order itself. A knight who abandoned his position without permission faced severe punishment. Because on the battlefield, discipline mattered more than courage, and the Knights Templar built their reputation on both. They also carried a weapon rarely noticed by chroniclers: the mace. Unlike swords, maces could crush armor instead of cut it against heavily protected opponents. This made them extremely effective, especially during close fighting after cavalry formations collided, which meant even when battles slowed into chaos, Templar knights remained dangerous. But the most important protection a Templar carried was not a weapon at all. It was his shield, marked with the red cross of the order, recognizable across the battlefield, visible through dust, through confusion, through fear. Because that symbol meant something to both allies and enemies. It meant the knight carrying it had taken vows that made retreat almost impossible, and everyone knew it. Templar knights were not ordinary soldiers fighting for land or payment. They were warrior monks, bound by vows of poverty, bound by obedience, bound by religious duty, which meant their loyalty was not to a king, but to something higher. And that made them unpredictable opponents, because armies expecting negotiation often found something else instead: resistance without surrender. Over time, this discipline made the Knights Templar one of the most feared cavalry forces of the Crusades. They defended fortresses others could not hold. They escorted pilgrims through hostile territory, and they stood at the center of major battles across the Holy Land. But their greatest protection was not their weapons. It was their independence. Because unlike every other army in Europe, the Knights Templar answered only to the Pope, not to kings, not to nobles, and not to local rulers, which made them powerful. But it also made them dangerous, especially to anyone who owed them money. And within a few years, accusations began appearing that would change everything the Knights Templar had built. Accusations that claimed the order was hiding something behind its discipline, something secret, something forbidden, something investigators would later call Baphomet. In the next episode, we uncover the mysterious idol the Knights Templar were accused of worshipping, and why the evidence against them has never fully made sense.